Apple has just unveiled a whole bunch of AI features that are going to be incorporated into the iPhone. They did this at their big event that they just hosted. Now, of course, they're rebranding. This isn't called artificial intelligence. This is called Apple Intelligence because, of course, this is made by Apple, so they got to rebrand everything. That's fine. There's a bunch of really interesting and exciting, cool new features. In my opinion, they're essentially trying to turn your iPhone into an agent. So today on the podcast, I'm going to be covering all of the different innovation, all of the different features that they've been adding, and some of the interesting things that I think might not actually go as well as we think. So stick around. Let's dive into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that we got this tweet from Sam Altman. I shared this over on LinkedIn, and it got a lot of traction. This is what a lot of people are talking about. Sam Altman said, very happy to be partnering with Apple to integrate ChatGPT into their devices later this year. Think you will really like it. A lot of people are interested. Now, one thing that's kind of cool here is this is getting embedded right into Siri, as I have been calling for at least the last year. Google's Assistant, Siri, and Amazon's Alexa all needed massive overhauls, and AI is obviously a good play. It's kind of scary that Apple wasn't able to come up with their own AI play, in my opinion. But partnering with OpenAI obviously is a very strong player, so this should help them fill the gap. Now, they did say something interesting in their announcement, which is that they said you're going to be able to switch out the AI model you actually choose in the future. They'll have that option. So I'm assuming it's going to start with ChatGPT, and then it's not going to be weird when they say, oh, just use Apple's, version of ChatGPT, or you could switch out to something else that you like. So it's kind of cool. People have a lot of opinions on it and how it's actually going to work. My thing that I love about it is that they're going to let you actually switch what you choose. So of all of the different features, there's a ton of different AI stuff that's getting embedded into this. One of the big ones that they've talked a lot about is the fact that if you're over on, Apple's version, like Apple Pages and Keynotes and all that kind of stuff, they actually have an image generator embedded in. And I think that this is actually their own homebrew image generator. Now, the thing that I'll say, a lot of people were like, is Midjourney dead? Like, did they just kill this? Whatever. Everyone says that when a new company comes out with something. The thing is, it's really cool to have this built on device. And actually, I think a lot of these are generating on device. You're not even on a server. It's like on your device. A lot of these AI functions. I'm not sure if the image one is. The thing that I was like not as impressed with, obviously it can do like these little images. If you look at them, they seem very basic, sort of like an older version of Midjourney from maybe like a year ago. They have 3 different styles you can pick from where you can essentially get it to do like an animation, a painting or something like that. So they kind of have these like 3 different styles, but they're not, I don't know, it's not like a realistic image like Midjourney that you can generate where it's like use these prompts to make these incredible things. It just doesn't feel quite like that. It feels more like a graphic you could use for like a PowerPoint, or a graphic that you could use for like your Notes app. So it could bring what you're working on to life and kind of spice it up. Now, the one thing that a lot of people are saying is that they have killed Grammarly. They're essentially embedding AI tools into your email and into a lot of your things where you're using AI to write. So this makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's essentially ChatGPT kind of getting embedded. And what's interesting is a lot of times when you ask it to do something, it will ask you, do you want to do this with ChatGPT? So that's interesting. Another way that they are incorporating AI into the iPhone is on the notifications. So they actually allow you to prioritize the notifications. It understands the context of what it's talking about, what your schedule is, if this is after work hours. So it's not going to show you a work thing, but if it's like, oh, your kid needs to get picked up from daycare in 30 minutes, it's going to have this big urgent kind of push it to the top. So this, I think, is quite an interesting feature that it's going to be able to do. It will do it for your notifications. It will be able to do it on your mail app as well. So for your emails. Another interesting thing that it's doing on your emails is instead of showing you like a subject line like most emails do, they're actually reading the whole email, coming up with like a summary snippet that's exactly what the thing's about. This is kind of interesting, and it makes me think of like this can have massive disruption for sales, all these cold sales emails where they're like, like, hey, is this you or something? And then like you click on it and it's just trying to sell you some random thing, but they use like some scammy thing to get you to open the email. I think this might kind of kill that whole, email subject line. I don't want to say scamming, but like, all the shenanigans that go along with that. So I think this is going to be very interesting. They're able to do summaries of your calls, which is really interesting. Summaries of your emails. It's going to be able to summarize them all. It's going to also be able to do smart replying. So this is really interesting is essentially you can highlight an email. It's going to like ask you a couple questions, you answer it, and then it will respond based off of that. So a lot of really cool things. For iPad, they have some really cool features too. So on the Notes app, if you're writing stuff out and you do like a little sketch or a doodle, you can highlight it with a special tool, their magical wand thing, that is going to essentially turn your sketch into an actual image. So that's kind of cool. They also have like custom images that can be embedded into text messages. So if you're texting someone, you can then get it to, it's kind of like sending stickers, but now all of a sudden it's like you can send, I don't know, AI generated images in your text messages with people. So might be cool, might be a novelty that wears off. I'm not 100% sure. There's a bunch of different things you can do with images that Apple's really excited about. There's new emojis. You can use Genmoji, where it generates an emoji using AI. They're really excited about that. You also have the ability in the images to search your images, and it's like a lot smarter of a search using AI. So you could be like, oh, my daughter with a bunch of stickers on her face. When was that picture taken? And it will be able to actually find that picture. Honestly, I'm excited about this because I frequently search Google for like certain documents that I've taken pictures of in the past, and it like will only ever get the front of the document, but never the back of the document that I need. I don't know. And so I think as these tools get smarter, they're going to get a lot more useful, and this is going to be something that's actually great. Another interesting thing they have, which I think is going to, I don't know, maybe be a bit of a killer to Photoshop. Not really, because these tools have kind of been here for a while, but if you take a photo, you're in front of the Eiffel Tower, and there's a bunch of people behind you, you can select all the people, and it will automatically remove all the people out of the image and fill it in like what you used to, like when I was a kid using Photoshop. It was crazy the amount of work you had to do to remove something from the background. Now you just circle it on your iPhone and boom, it's gone, and your image is going to look perfect with your family. I think this is a really, really cool feature. So as I mentioned at the beginning, Siri is getting a total overhaul. It's going to be able to access all of your apps, everything, and be able to really use AI to be like, hey, like, start playing that podcast that my wife sent me last week. Okay, well, Siri's going to be able to go know who your wife is, know when she sent you that thing, go find the podcast, go play it. Like, it's essentially turning your phone into like an agent, in my opinion. Now, it's not going to be it's not like every business function you need, and also you need your phone, so it's not like this agent can be just like taking control of your phone and running on it all day, which I think is going to be more conducive to computers. But it's going to be able to do a lot of tasks and automate a lot of stuff for you, especially I think your personal tasks like emails, texts, orchestrating, scheduling, a lot of this communicating with people. It's going to be really cool. So there's a whole bunch of really cool features. They talk a lot about this new design of Siri. It's going to make like your whole phone border glow with a rainbow animation around it. And it's elegant. Like I don't even know why I'm telling you about this. They just talked about it so much that I feel like I have to like highlight it, which is just, I don't know, a silly design thing. Whatever, okay? I do think there's some cool things. They have the ability, instead of just talking to Siri, you also can tap a button at the bottom of your phone, pop Siri up, and text it things like you would ChatGPT. Maybe they're trying to copy ChatGPT and all these AI things, but like at the end of the day, I would way rather just talk, but maybe that's just me, than actually text. I guess the nice thing about texting is if you're in like a meeting and you want it to do something, then it can be silent. So, okay, I guess I concede there are some good use cases for that. I think there's a ton of interesting things that Siri's doing. You could get it to set your alarms, and it's going to understand you better. They said, like, when you're talking to Siri now, well, anyways, whatever. I'm telling you about it like there's cool new features. Okay, everything Siri can do is what it should have been able to do a year ago. It just has ChatGPT in it. Also, by the way, when you use your phone with ChatGPT, you get ChatGPT 4.0, the newest version, for free. You don't have to make an account. This is really cool. This is a big feature. I'm super, super curious what like the deal looks like between Apple and OpenAI. It obviously understands. So if you're like, hey, set a timer for 10 minutes. Actually, never mind. Make it 5 minutes. Actually, let's do it for like an hour. Like, it would understand what you're saying with that. It's not going to get all confused like Siri today would. It has on-screen awareness, so it understands and can take actions with things on your screen. If a friend texts you their new address, you can, you can actually go and add this address to your contact card, and Siri's going to go add it. So that's really interesting. It has awareness of your personal context, which they say, quote, enables Siri to help you in ways that are unique to you. Can't remember friends a friend that shared a recipe with you in a note or text or an email. Need your passport number while booking a flight. Siri can use its knowledge of the information on your device to help you find what you're looking for without compromising your privacy. Privacy is big on this, and you can understand why. If I'm sitting there saying, hey, what's my passport number? And it's like, boom, here's your passport number. Very, very useful. I hate having to go find that and manually type that in. But at the same time, it's like, it has all your information about everything about you. And so that definitely feels a little bit, I don't know, a little bit crazy. And again, they showed off a feature where you could, use it for like your photos, where you're on your photo app and you're just like, hey, find like, the picture of Cindy in like a red coat, and then it like finds Cindy in a red coat, and then you're like, okay, cool, now can you throw this, like add this to her bio that I'm writing about her in my notes app, and it will like pop the image in there. Really cool. It's like integrating things. Now, I feel like it's going to do this with just Apple apps, so the Apple homegrown apps are going to like be strengthened by this, and random people's apps aren't, because it's not like it could get pulled into everything. So I don't know. That's like an interesting regulatory or like a monopolistic capture kind of thing. But like you understand why it exists, but at the same time, it's like kind of killing off a lot of like apps that might exist. But I guess if it's more useful, but other people aren't even going to be able to do it, I don't know. The big thing that they really stress is that privacy is a huge focus for them. They say, quote, Apple Intelligence is designed to protect your privacy at every step. It's integrated into the core of your iPhone, iPad, and Mac through on-device processing, so it's aware of your personal information without collecting your personal information. And with groundbreaking private cloud compute, Apple Intelligence can draw on larger server-based models running on Apple Silicon to handle more complex requests for you while protecting your privacy. When they say running on Apple Silicon, that's literally just Apple servers. I don't know why they call it Apple Silicon. Whatever. The ChatGPT integration is going to be exciting. It's going to be cool. It's built into everything. And I think, there's going to be a lot of new use cases for Apple that's super exciting. So what are people saying about this? Because obviously this is big. I've been calling on Apple to do this for like a year. And while it sounds like, wow, it's like amazing all the stuff they're doing, this is all software. So like a lot of this stuff has been possible for quite a while, but I guess better late than never. There's people sharing full tweets of a ton of the different features that are interesting. You can go see. Highly recommend checking them out. The big thing that's making news right now is that Elon Musk tweeted and said, if Apple integrates OpenAI at the OS level, then Apple devices will be banned at my companies. That is an unacceptable security violation, he said, and visitors will have to check their Apple devices at the door, where they will be stored in a Faraday cage. This is really interesting, the security implications. Everyone's responding. A bunch of people are responding back saying that he needs to create an X phone or a Tesla phone or whatever. So there is some interesting conversations going on here. Will that happen? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this spawns. Now, my number one assumption here is that he's upset because, it's not Grok that's built into Apple, but at the same time, obviously ChatGPT and GPT-4o can do way more than Grok can do. And the thing that I think makes this less of a big deal, okay, so maybe there's a security risk, and I don't actually know that much about the security implications of this, but the thing that I'll say is like less of a big deal as far as competition is they said eventually you're going to be able to swap in your models as long as Apple is true to that promise. Who knows? I mean, if you really want Grok, you can run it on Grok. If you want something else, you can run it on something else. So at the end of the day, as long as they give you the option, Grok's got some cool features. OpenAI's obviously got tons of amazing stuff. Anthropic's got amazing stuff. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how that all plays out. But right now there's a ton of interesting stuff happening. I'll keep you up to date if anything else breaks. But overall, there's some amazing new AI features finally coming to iPhone and actually making this thing a little bit more usable in the age of AI. And we're kind of getting these on device agents, and our phone is going to be able to kind of automate a lot more of what it's doing. So this is exciting stuff, and I'll keep you tuned on anything else exciting that drops.